History, as we learn it in school, isn't always the whole story. It's often told from the viewpoint of those in charge, leaving out the experiences of people who were treated unfairly. To really understand our past, we need to dig deeper, like archaeologists, and uncover the hidden truths. We need to face the uncomfortable facts that have been ignored. Only then can we understand how the past affects us today. Learning real history isn't just for school, it's the right thing to do. By shining a light on the darkest parts of our past, we honor those who suffered and hold those responsible to account. We get a clearer picture of how our world became the way it is. This knowledge is important for building a fairer future. Uncovering these truths isn't about changing history, but about understanding it better. It's about recognizing that the past is complicated and many different viewpoints exist. By being more inclusive and honest about history, we can learn from past mistakes and try to build a better future for everyone. Thinking history is always fair and accurate is a big mistake. Historical stories are always shaped by the people who write them. Powerful people have often controlled what gets written down, making sure their victories are celebrated and their mistakes are hidden. From old records to today's textbooks, history has been used to justify who's in charge and keep things the way they are. The winners write the history books, and when they do, they often twist or leave out important information that doesn't fit their story. For example, Western history books often describe the slave trade as a bad but unavoidable thing. The terrible suffering of millions of Africans wasn't talked about much, while the money made by slave traders was emphasized. This one-sided view helped justify centuries of cruelty and unfairness. To understand the real story, we need to think critically about historical sources. We need to ask about the writer's biases, consider other viewpoints, and look for original documents whenever we can. Only by looking at history with a critical eye can we hope to understand the past more completely and accurately. History is full of stories of conquest and control, often with terrible violence and cruelty. While some events, like the World Wars, are well known and recognized as horrible tragedies, others have been forgotten, and their victims haven't been remembered. European colonialism, for example, saw countless terrible acts against native people all over the world. From the Americas to Africa to Asia, European powers took land, resources, and even tried to destroy cultures. Millions of indigenous people were killed, enslaved, or forced from their homes. What happened in the Belgian Congo under King Leopold II is a particularly scary example of colonial cruelty. Wanting ivory and rubber, Leopold's government oversaw the killing, hurting, and enslaving of millions of Congolese people. Even though it was well known at the time, the world largely ignored it, and the true scale of the horror has only recently been understood. Native American children in North America were also forced to go to special boarding schools. For over a century, these children were taken from their families and put into government-run schools. These schools tried to erase their language, culture, and who they were, often hurting them physically and emotionally. History isn't just a list of events, it's like a tapestry made of many individual stories, each one adding to the richness of human experience. But too often, some voices and viewpoints are silenced, their stories erased from the main narrative. Purposely leaving out certain groups from history is a kind of harm. It denies the humanity of entire communities and reinforces harmful stereotypes. By acknowledging these omissions and actively looking for the stories of those left out, we can start to challenge the usual stories and create a more inclusive and accurate understanding of the past. Christopher Columbus, for example, has been talked about a lot recently. While he's traditionally seen as a hero, more and more people are looking at his voyages as part of European colonialism and its devastating impact on native people. Recognizing the bad things that happened under his leadership doesn't erase his sailing skills, but it adds important information to his story. Similarly, the role of women in history has often been downplayed or ignored. Even with many obstacles, women have always played important roles in shaping the world. From scientists and artists to activists and leaders, women's contributions have often been overlooked or given credit to men.